All right. Hello. We are live on YouTube reacting to episode 5 of Survivor 48. I'm pretty sure it's episode 5. I hope it's episode 5. I'll have to change the title if it's not episode 5. Let me just make sure I change the thumbnail so that we're not looking like we're talking about Deal or No Deal Island. That's a different thing. Episode 5, I'm pretty sure. I was just told that it's being hyped up as a good episode, so this will be interesting. How this works, if you're new here, is that I will be watching the episode, but I cannot show it because they will take me down. They will find me, and they will use their particular set of skills to take me down. So I'll be watching it. You will be watching it at the same time. I'll let you know when it starts. There's a little clock up here so that you can kind of generally judge where it is. I will try to occasionally let you know where I am in the episode as well. And then we'll just react to it. We'll chat about it, and have a good time. That is the plan. I will also be running predictions on Twitch. For those of you watching live on Twitch, we have a good time trying to figure out what's going to happen. And so far, it's been pretty good. There's been seemingly no spoilers. Live now for Survivor. Okay. Episode will be starting soon. Let me get the prediction up. Commercial by 5:12. Yes or no? All right. Previously on Survivor. Shaheen almost went home and I got really scared. Baby, thank you for the 16th. Oh, also, I saw that there was more controversy about whether or not the extra vote was played. Or whatever it was. Christine, thank you for the 32nd. Polly, thank you for the 65th. Where does it was played? So that is very interesting to me. Because if it was played and we were not shown that it was played, that implies to me that that tribe never goes to tribal again. And we're on. No, we're not. It was fake. It was fake. And now the episode starts. Let's see if I can Okay. I'm going to try something here. Hopefully it doesn't instantly yoink me. That's where I am. That's where I am right now. Surely that's fine. like dip our toes. If we can just occasionally like insert some visuals to keep people up to date on where we are, that'd be cool, but gotta be careful. Come on, Shaheen. Good, positive recovery content. Oh, here we go. So they are confirming that he played the extra, so they can go to tribal now. I love this. I love this from Camilla and Kyle. Um, you absolutely continue to pretend that you're not working together. Straight up. Challenge. Challenge. Wait. I like to do challenge predictions. We have a commercial prediction. I'll test the waters. People who have predicted in the prediction, would you like me to refund and do a challenge prediction instead, or should we just eat it here and just go with the commercial prediction? All right, I'm seeing lots of refunds. All right. Reward challenge. We are refunding. Which tribe wins reward? Or I'll say which tribe comes in first? Green, orange, purple. We could do which tribe loses. You know what? Let's do that. Which tribe loses? Because 2 tribes are gonna go and 1 tribe is the loser. There we go. Which tribe loses? I would always, I think I would always want to compete. I mean, who knows how true it even was that what she just said about needing a break or whatever, but like, I'd be bummed to sit out of a challenge on Survivor. They seem like fun. Jeff! Jeff, we're supposed to make jokes about your innuendos. You're supposed to be oblivious to them. Oh no. Hero moment for Mary. I think Mary's got a great edit. Which I'm simultaneously happy with and also like, damn, I almost drafted her. Woo! An abysmal failure is fine. Purple in the lead. Like Joe like calming everyone down when they're not even the ones rolling the ball. I need a donut. Purple comes in first, but we are looking for the loser. Is it going to be green or orange? Wow, a lot of people thought it would be orange. Just the Olympics of this sport? What do you even mean? And it's orange. That's a suspicious majority, but it's a reward challenge. It's you know what? It looks like it's a few big betters in there. All right, geez, brag about it. I feel like I would never be like super tribe heavy with my language in these moments. Sage is calling it out. The say marry relationship. Listen, they can't just get along, you know what I mean? That just takes away some of the spark. The second they start getting along, they get bored of each other, you know? Are they trying to set up Orange to be the tribal tribe? All right. Next prediction. Are any clues or advantages found in the next segment? Yes or no? Tracy, thank you for the 44th. There's like a weird commercial slash preview. Oh, this is a movie. Okay. I couldn't tell if it was a commercial or like an actual show or movie. Drop. Um, I guess there is a weird middle ground where somebody finds an existing advantage, but like they have to find it. You know what I mean? Like if Star finds her idol, yeah, that counts. If somebody else finds, if somebody goes through somebody's bag and finds their idol, I'm gonna count that too. Um, yeah, I just feel like they're setting up this say conflict a bunch here. Like we've already set up both Charity and Star as being like potential first boots at a tribal. None of that mattered because they then swapped. But then it happened again where they're now both again potentially on the outs. Now we're kind of setting up say. I'm just feeling some Orange Tribe tribal right now. That's what I'm feeling. Which likely means I'm losing my first draft team member. That's fair, JC. I wasn't considering the fact that this episode's been hyped up. I guess a say boot would be super dramatic. It just feels early for that, but I guess it is possible. There's also like, isn't there something that happens at the challenge or something? All right, we're back. That's where we are. Oh yeah, I forgot that part of the reason Bianca was being targeted was because she was on a majority tribe. I knew the sitting out thing would be a thing. What do you mean it's ridiculous? You don't get to hoard the food because you competed in the challenge. Oh, right. Wait, this isn't the tribe with Charity? Charity and Star on purple. Oh, that's great for me. What is the sniffing of the knife shot? If I'm Bianca, I mean, obviously, like it just depends on what her relationships are, but like numbers wise, I'd rather take out the smaller tribe here to help build up original Orange tribe, I think it was, as the only tribe that hasn't been touched yet and the big majority that everyone else needs to gather together to take out. Basically, if we can like pull together a group of people that is original purple tribe, Shaheen, Joe, uh, Eva, and Star, and wait, and Bianca, um, plus Mary and Cedric. That's 7 against original Orange tribe, and they're 6. Um, that's a great place to be. And it probably wouldn't be exactly that, but if you can make it, kind of close to that, I think that's where you'd want to be. Any clues or advantages found? No. That was a very short segment. But let's run it back because we haven't even gone to Sanctuary yet or anything like that. Could be a 2-2 vote. The tribe is 5. Bianca doesn't have her vote. I forgot about that. Yeah. Um, are there any advantages there? They have no advantages. Bears, you think of it, the 20th month in a row. Mitch has block a vote. That's huge. But it would require him to know he needs to play it, which would require Bianca admitting she doesn't have a vote, which is a tough thing to do. Because even if you do admit it and he realizes he needs to play his block a vote, um, is it worth blowing your block a vote just to save Bianca when you could alternatively? Well, I guess maybe you're not saving Bianca, you're saving Chrissy. Um, this season has been interesting in terms of divulging information. Uh, Fans often get upset at people who like overshare, but so far I think we've seen multiple instances where not sharing, a, their situation, whether it's not having a vote or having a vote or having an extra vote, not sharing that with their allies has really come back to bite them. And this might be another instance of that, where it's like, in order for Mitch to know that, to even have the dilemma of whether he should play the block of vote, he kind of needs to know that you don't have the vote, that he might need to play it. And that's a tough place to be. I mean, ultimately, the key is that you're just not too sloppy with your information. Like, you don't put it in like a group chat or something like that. That'd be pretty sloppy. All right, we're back. Milk for David. I think I'd be pretty happy with milk on the island. I don't know though. Would it mess with your stomach? You, I don't usually drink milk, but like macro wise, it's pretty good. The music. They love David. Let me tell you. They're really milking this. Yeah. I know Say's your ally is a little strange. I'm surprised Mary hasn't sort of revealed that they are not allies. I'm right there with you, Charity. Both you and Star, let's get to the merge. They have just consistently buried charity. That was a weird one though, because like I feel like in all the other segments where they've buried charity, she's been like, I puppet master David's vote, and David's like, I don't trust her. She was just like having a moment. It was like, I don't trust her. Wow. Of course it was happening in the 40s and 50s. Come on. Come on. Let's bond. Let's make this happen. Come on, these four. Come on. What a cool four-person group this would be. Oh, I really hope they're not setting this up. Hold on, is this why the episode is emotional? Because they make us care about these four and then they lose and they go to tribal? That would be a very funny thing for Camilla to pitch. It's like, guys, hold on. I have this really good strategy where we pretend we don't like each other. Like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess that does work. No clues or advantages found. What are we gonna do next? Do we have another whole segment before the challenge? I feel like normally we have some sort of like advantage island thing. Um, I could run. I don't know. It feels like we're gonna get a challenge. I could just because the challenge might be okay. I'm gonna do this. Are we gonna get a challenge? Are we gonna get a challenge in the next segment? I don't think it's necessarily likely, but like if this is like a very special episode, it might be a very long challenge. Um, we could definitely have a journey instead. And I will not count a journey as a challenge, even if they do a little puzzle or whatever. Oh, you know what? Did they mention a journey? I don't even remember now. I wasn't paying attention. I was just listening to. No, they just talked about Sanctuary, right? I think they just talked about Sanctuary. I will say, I even before that segment in those conversations that those four had, I just had the vibe that they were getting along. Even after the tribal. Like Shaheen certainly strikes me as the kind of guy that's just like, you got us. And if anything, I respect it. Um, and so for them to then also bond on a more like emotional level could be big. I mean, I'm trying to remember. So Kyle and Camilla were on the tribe with um they were on Orange Tribe with Charity and David and Chrissy and Mitch. We're back. I just felt it. I felt it. Come on in, he says. That's my editing bones. I just feel pacing. All right, which tribe comes in first? Or should we do loser again? There's spoilers for the challenge winners. So does that mean I should do losing tribe? And you're saying for the 18th. All right, which tribe loses? Purple, orange, green. Sounds like there are some potential spoilers out there, so be careful of this prediction if you want to remain like super unspoiled. Here we go. Orange already behind. Purple and orange winning the physical portion makes sense. This challenge is early. Purple with a big lead. Where's green? Where's green? I heard instructions for green. Green is done. Okay. Digging under the log. That's more physical stuff. There's a lot of physical portions to this challenge that's really dragging orange down. My thighs are too fat. Yeah, the Cedric sit out is I think a weird call. Ooh, orange catching up. I think Kyle went too early. He clearly doesn't have the room. I was wondering if his height would play a disadvantage, would be a disadvantage there. Oh no, orange is really caught up. Dead even now. Come on, don't do this to us. Don't do this to us. Don't make us fall in love with green and then have them lose. Let's go, Joe. Why is Mitch so clutch? Mitch, chill. Oh, Mitch can't do them all. Mitch can't do them all. I do like that they all have to do one. I think that's... Well, I think it's good on occasion. He went fast. Okay, he caught it. No, Shaheen should be... The good people should be going to the outer edges. Oh, wow. Purple's struggling. All right. I think green might be okay here. Don't want to speak too soon. Just you and the ball. Those little ramps are actually helpful. It allows you to go fast, and the ramps will slow you down. Green is locked in. That's first. David going for an edge makes sense. That's the way to do it. This trumpet. Charity in. Okay. Is Ava gonna or is Eva gonna struggle and then that's gonna be like no, Mary, stop being so good. Oh no. Oh no, I wanted Mary to be good. Never mind. No, good Mary, go. No. Oh, Chrissy's getting it. That was a weird shot. Oh, I'm already getting emotional seeing Joe on this, like cheering her on from the side. I think they're screwed. I think purple's screwed. Dude, that would be tough. That would be tough in the game when you're like trying to hide the connection that you have, but then like wanting to be there for somebody that's struggling. It would just put such a big target on you if you went over there, but how do you stop yourself, you know? That's it. I thought it was gonna be more dramatic than that.
I feel like you can see everything going through Joe's mind written out on his face.
Jeff. Oh man, I saw what was happening and I just stepped in, you know? I told Joe go over there, you know what I mean? Whew. Well, Orange did lose. Um, I mean that I like Jeff breaking down, I think, is huge. I think that like there's this idea that like as the host or like whatever, you know, he's like above it or he's impartial or he's like, you know, he's like just whatever. But like showing some humanity, I think, is big. And that was just a cool moment. And it is interesting because like, you know, you do think about like the strategic implications. But I think that almost makes it a cooler moment. Um because basically like a decision was made that like despite the strategic implications, this just matters more. Which I think is I think that is relevant because I think that like in the real world there aren't strategic implications, but there are sometimes like other things that might get in the way of you standing up for somebody or being there for somebody that like it's cool to see an example of somebody essentially being like whatever, you know, like this is just more important. Um is at the end of the day like these games are a reflection of us in the way our societies work. Um and they're like, you know, they're angled, you know, to be an extreme version of us, provoke elements of us. Um, but like the idea of like, you know, strategic implications can definitely track to kids in school who don't want to be like, don't want to stand out, right? Like, oh, I don't want to go help this person because like everyone's looking at them, you know, like I'd feel uncomfortable or something like that. And so to see like an actual scenario that's it's not the same because you couldn't really recreate the same thing for television in a real way, but a thing that reflects that kind of scenario. Um, to see that play out and to see people that you then admire for making that kind of decision make that decision uh, is cool. Okay, I still have a prediction. Does Bianca tell anyone she doesn't have a vote? Yes, no. That's the prediction. And we're back. You made Jeff cry. This is big. This is big for Star. Oh, wait. Oh, damn it. I feel like this happens every time I think it's big for one of my players. Because, like, just edit wise, it just means that, like, that segment of Star talking and having a confessional needed to be there because it's advantage related. And it wasn't just there because she has a good edit. I'm sorry. Star gives Eva the idol. Charity in the background goes, "That's crazy." Um, turns out we didn't get a segment. So we're going to run it back. This time, does Bianca tell anyone she has no vote? Ryan, thank you for the 35th month. Okay. I will say, nah. There's not much strategic benefit to giving away the idol. You have that idol, you're locked in. You're not leaving. You're not leaving in the pre-merge. It might paint a target on you come merge. But all you need to do in that scenario is just play it. Just burn it. And then you're safe for a round. If you give it to somebody else, sure, it might put a target on them. But at the same time, it might also mean that, like, you get votes because they don't want to put votes on Eva because Eva has an idol and everyone knows about it. They don't want to put majority votes on Eva just in case she plays the idol. Granted, you could try to, like, work something where it's like, hey, Eva for sure would play it for me if she thinks I'm in danger because I gave it to her. So it's not like the end of the world. But generally, I would say, like, there's a better way to win over an ally, and it's not giving up your idol. Lena, thank you for the 12th month. Cookie, thank you for the 31st. So do you think we've been through enough in this episode for it to have, like, this is what all the hype was about, and it's now, like, not that weird from here, or do we still have more to go at this point? All right, here we go. All right, what's the plan? She's being honest. It seemed like they already were pitted against each other, no? Oh, geez, another tiebreaker vote. Clarification. If Bianca doesn't have a vote, is she immune to a rock draw? No. Then pitting the two sides against each other is almost worst case scenario. Not worst case scenario, obviously. Voting for her would be worst case scenario, probably. Okay. The more I think about this, she doesn't have a lot of options here. I mean, I do think pitting them against each other is risky because if you can just pick a side and make them think that it's all like here's what you could do. You could publicly pick a side and then force Cedric or Say or Mitch or Chrissy to think they don't have the votes anyway and then not even bother trying to place 2 votes. Chrissy, you haven't gone to tribal with Cedric. You don't know how he's like. This is good for you if it's true. Yes. Yes. Okay, good. She recognizes that. She's right to not tell them about her vote in this instance, I think. I mean, at the end of the day, even if it does come down to a tie, there's not a lot of incentive for Cedric to go to rocks for Say. After all of their history, tell Cedric. This makes sense. This makes sense. I don't love saying because Say was going home tonight. Trickster, thank you for the 7th in a row. Okay, so we originally talked about Bianca telling Mitch so that he could play his blocked vote or block a vote. That obviously doesn't make sense. She doesn't know he has a block a vote. And to just blindly tell a bunch of people doesn't make sense. to specifically go to Cedric because it seems like he's wavering on voting Say. Avoiding a tie would be ideal. So letting him know ahead of time that the tie is coming up has some value because you can potentially win him over and get him just vote Say straight away. I like that in a vacuum. I don't love the execution of it though, specifically because of the way she talked about it. Like, I wasn't going to tell you, I didn't want to tell anyone, this is what was going to be voted out. Implies to me, if I'm hearing that like, oh, so you really were lying to me before. You never wanted to vote with me and Say. You were always with Mitch and Chrissy. And you're basically just panicking at the last second and telling me you don't have a vote so that because you're afraid of a tie. Now, even if I feel that way, there's not much you can do about it if you're Cedric, unless you're willing to go to rocks for Say, which maybe you are. But there's not a lot of reason to, because even if you win that rock draw and you go to tribal again, you're at another rock draw potentially. So you kind of do just have to go along with it and then hope that you don't go to tribal again. Or, you know, you could take the other stance. You could go in prepared, because if you know that Bianca doesn't have a vote, I mean, Mitch and Chrissy are tight, but like, if they get shocked by the fact that it's a tie and you knew ahead of time that it was gonna tie, you can come in prepared and aggressive, and come in like, just so you know, I'm with Say, we're not splitting. So if you want to do rocks, we can do rocks right now. And that level of like preparedness and aggression could just win out. Because if you're Mitch in that scenario, if I'm Mitch in that scenario, I get real worried. I'm like, am I doing rocks all of a sudden out of nowhere? The issue with that strategy is that it only works with certain kinds of people. There are some people that would rise to that and just be like, no, screw you. We're going to rocks then. And you just have to read the person. And I think that Mitch would. The thing is, Mitch is very loyal, but he's also not like a burn the house down around him kind of guy. So anyway, Bianca did in fact tell anyone she had a vote. She had no vote. Big result for the yes betters. Next prediction. Is there a tie? Or how about, do they go to rocks? No. Is there a tie? Yes, no. I don't know what level of spoiled this episode is, so I'm going to hide the results, but the prediction is up. If you're particularly worried about spoilers, then you can avoid this prediction. All right, we're back. There's definitely a meta to this, which is that this is not like a super early tribal, which does imply that there's not a tie, but it could depend on how long the tribal is. It could be a quick tribal into a longer tiebreaker segment, but not looking super likely. It's weird though. I mean, you know, there was a lot of Say set up for sure, but Say was like almost entirely absent from the like campaigning segment. For as big a character as she is, you would have expected her to have a bigger boot episode. But I don't know how you get there without a tie that she stays. That's such an interesting perspective from Chrissy. I I didn't even realize it. I just started scrolling my phone. Just like subconsciously, I stopped paying attention. I started scrolling my phone. Which is both a commentary on my own attention span, but also how boring tribal is. I finally just got Balatro. Balatro? Balatro. I was saving it for like a plane ride, but I needed it. And it was everything I thought it would be. Super addicting. Little game. Stream playing it? Is it a separate? Can I play it on my phone and my PC with the same account? Wow, this is a long. It's really not even that long, is it? It's just boring. Something in my belly's rumbling. You know, people talk about like losing attention span and like not being able to sit in silence, stuff like that. From my perspective, I always hated sitting in silence. Some of my like, I have like traumatic memories of like being stuck in a room, nothing to do. Favorite toys as a kid? Well, when I was stuck in a room one time, all I had was a few little action figures. I had those little army guys with the parachutes, and I'd chuck them out the window. All right, here we go. Vote is happening. This feels so straightforward now. It just feels like it has to be say. Of all the tribals for her to go out on too, like she was so entertaining. She was like the most entertaining tribal person, which is still not that like high praise, but like she definitely brought something to tribals at least. One vote for Say. One vote for Chrissy. And Bianca. Oh, he threw the vote. Why throw it to Bianca? Whoa! They flipped it on her? They really hid that from us. Honestly, I would have preferred to have seen some of that instead of that tribal. I'm assuming what happened is that Cedric went back to Chrissy, told her about Bianca not having a vote, flipped Chrissy on Bianca. See, I guess under the false impression that Bianca had said that to Cedric like minutes before they went to tribal, like with no time for him to create an alternative plan, which is why I was talking about like blitzing them at tribal. But I think pretty clearly there was time for them to talk ahead of time, which was way more dangerous. Man, I should have done who gets voted out. That would have been a better prediction. Damn. He said he found out minutes before tribal. Did they talk on the way there? Shots, thank you for the 54th. Did they trick us into thinking they were ever going to vote for Say in the first place? Is that what happened? I'm trying to think about it now. Like, did they ever actually confirm that was the plan, or was that maybe not the plan ever? And it was just always Bianca. But they were genuinely talking to Cedric about voting Say. I just feel like they like I feel like they just fully hid reality from us in this one. I personally am not a fan of that. I think some people might disagree. I'm not sure. They could certainly help. Like if at the beginning of the next episode they do like, because okay, here's the thing. If you pull a stunt like this, from my perspective, you have to like the genius it and do a drop and flash back to why this happened. You can maybe do that at the start of the next episode. That's fine. All right, we're back. Merge. Oh, it's so frustrating to not know what happened. I mean, I think we can infer probably what happened, but it's just like it's just annoying. They'll probably mention it. She'll probably talk about it in the exit interview. She might have a better idea. It's just like it's a strange scenario. It's a strange vote. Because Mitch votes Say votes Chrissy. Like, why? That all just feels to me like so obviously a last minute. Okay. Let me pose a quick theory here. Bianca told Cedric last minute he got sketchy vibes from the convo, which we, I think, understand. He went straight to Chrissy on the way to tribal. Like he talked with Chrissy on the way to tribal, and they don't have the footage. And Chrissy wasn't able to talk to Mitch ahead of time. And Cedric wasn't able to talk to Say ahead of time. But they knew that if they had those two votes, that it would work. And so they decided to just let it ride because they didn't have the footage anyway. They're not supposed to talk, I think, but like it doesn't mean you can't necessarily. That's my current running theory, I think, is that the vote flipped at the last minute. They genuinely didn't even get footage of it because it was so last minute they didn't catch the convo. Which explains why the vote explains the vote count, explains the result, it explains the editing. But who knows? Yeah, I mean, The decision to tell or not tell, I think, was a tricky one. Obviously, when I was watching it, my instinct was not, well, we talked about like the varying degrees of information keeping this season, but like my instinct was it doesn't make sense to just blanket tell people because you don't know what advantages they have. And like, why bother telling two people, Mitch and Chrissy, that you don't have a vote when you don't even know that they can do anything about it to help you anyway? And if they can't do anything to help you, then all you're doing is opening up a vulnerability. I think pretty clearly that's exactly what we see happen here. Her thought was, if I tell Cedric that I don't have a vote, then it exposes there's a deadlock tie. And sort of what I said was like, that does open a lane for Cedric to blitz this, come out swinging and tell Mitch and Chrissy, like, hey, we're about to head into a deadlock, to try to get them to flip on each other. But if Cedric was able to get to them before they even voted at all, then what that does is it opens up the route where they don't even bother deadlocking in the first place, which makes sense for both of them. So tough. It's a tough one. Obviously, you don't want the rock draw, but like it was definitely like the avoidance of a rock draw is a really powerful motivator. And so the second you reveal that you don't have a vote, it incentivizes the other players to not rock draw. But like the perspective that we were shown from her was that, you know, that she had a great relationship with Chrissy and Mitch, and that they wouldn't want to vote her out if they could help it. But if Cedric strong arms them, you're not gonna risk a rock draw for Bianca. Mitch and Chrissy could have avoided it by blocking a vote. Yes. The problem is, I don't think that it seems as though it's possible that Mitch didn't even know this was happening and couldn't have used it if he wanted to. The second thing is that blowing your block a vote on this just doesn't make a lot of sense. In a world where you're about to go to a merge, it's more valuable to have a block a vote. In a world where you survive to the next round by sacrificing Bianca and you go to another tribal in this tribe, it's still more valuable to have your block a vote. And block a vote isn't even that powerful, but like, you know, it's not like keeping Bianca around is super great for you. Bianca is tied to a bigger majority group. Not majority right now. They're like a 5-person group right now, but like still she's tied to a bigger crew of people. So yeah, rough. That's the second person this season who very distinctly was voted out because they didn't have their vote. At least the second person. Just goes to show how dangerous it is to be in that position. Especially when those advantages just aren't really very valuable. The journey this season has, I would say, like, been actively bad for most people. Things like an extra vote, a block a vote, are just not very valuable. They are only valuable in niche scenarios. Not having your vote can be devastating on a small tribe. So the risk to reward ratio is way off, and you don't even have a choice. You get chosen to go on a journey, and you get you are forced to play the game. So this could theoretically, I think, become part of Survivor meta, where like you could screw someone over by sending them to the journey. Like that is now I think potentially part of the metagame is like I would say that, like, because it's so powerful, I think you need to provide tribes more time to talk amongst themselves so that they can create relationships and alliances that would then influence who gets sent to the journey, because the journey is just too important to leave up to just like pure chance. But that is a huge, I would say, benefit of sitting out in a challenge, is that it gives you an opportunity to talk to other tribe members, or other members of other tribes, um, to potentially have some amount of, you know, basic relationship with them, and then potentially have an influence on whether or not you get sent to a journey. Which, I mean, it's just it's a tough thing to do. Anyway, that was Survivor episode 5. Heading into a merge next week, or at least a mergatory, probably. Honestly, it's wild to me that both Star and Charity are still there. We'll see if they remain there. Going into next week's episode, I could definitely see that happening. I am growing out the hair a bit. It is a bit of a mess at the moment. I'm starting. I'll tell you this. I'm starting to lose faith in growing out the hair. I'm not loving it. And it feels like it's in a little bit of like an awkward stage where it's like not long enough, but it's still too short. So I'm not really sure what the goal is, to be honest. It's kind of the off season, and I'm just like letting it go, sort of experiment. But I'm losing faith. But we'll see. Man bun, who knows? That feels like a long way away. I don't know if I can get there. It's good to know, though, at least, like, I can just chop it off whenever I want. That's kind of the that's what keeps me looking all right. I did, so I specifically went and found like somebody to cut it like at length, but it just kind of instantly stopped. Didn't look good again. I mean, I think it's I don't know. Some people like it. Some people in this chat like it. It's not my favorite, but I've had like basically like the main difference is that basically since I've been podcasting, it's always been short, very short sides, varying degrees of length on top. And so the only like the length on top, honestly, probably not even the longest it's been since I've been podcasting. The difference is that I've got the sides growing. And that's the thing too, is that like the longer it gets, the more work it is. And this is, as you can probably tell, zero work at the moment. I have not put work into it at the moment. And I'm willing to put more. I've done more work into it. I've done more work for it before, but you know, we'll see. We'll see where it goes. I'll probably make a call when Big Brother starts up again. That feels like if I'm still not loving it by then it's like might be time. Oh, I had long hair. I had long hair when I was a kid. I had varying degrees of long hair, but I had like down to my shoulders long hair when I was young. It's long, like curly. I don't think there are a lot of surviving pictures. This was like a deep insecurity of mine when I was a kid, but like I would occasionally get mistaken for a girl because of my hair. I had delicate features and long hair, And occasionally adults would be like, "Oh, what's your little girl's name?" And I'd be like, "Oh no, it's the end of the world that people could think I'm a girl." Oh. Um, it's wild, like the kinds of things that like felt like life or death then, and now it's like, chill, dude. I think there are photos, but I think they're physical. To be honest, the oldest like digital photo of me, um, I think is like high school. I'm sure my mom has some. I do have I saw I don't think it was when I had the long hair. I think it was after I cut my hair. Um I did a we're really we're really going there. I did a brief modeling stint as a child. So I do have a couple of child modeling photos. um yeah, it's I haven't thought about this in a while. Uh I don't even know how it happened. I just remember like taking photos. I ended up like almost being an extra in the movie Stuck on You with Matt Damon. I went out to the set for a couple of days and then they ended up filming other kids instead that were like related to the director or something. But I remember being on set with a bunch of other kids and then I met Matt Damon and Greg Kinnear. Um and then doing like a photo shoot or something here or there. And then I remember it didn't last very long because I was a kid and I I thought it was so boring. I was like, I did not appreciate it. I just thought it was so boring and I hated it. And so I was like playing soccer and my mom was like, we need to drive out to go do this thing. And I just threw a fit. I was like, I don't want to do it. Um, and I think we went anyway, but I was like, I'm never doing this again. I hate it. Um, I don't even remember. It was probably like I don't want to speculate. It was probably like a boyfriend of my mom's or something that like wasn't in. Um, I was pretty young. It's very vague memories. I haven't thought about it for a long time. High maintenance. Uh. Anyway, I don't know how we got there, but that was Survivor. um, let's see. What else do we have today this week? Tomorrow, Big Brother 13 retrospective. So stay tuned for that. Then we've got jet lag coverage dropping as well. The Tastemakers just dropped a couple days ago. I thought it was very fun. Tastemakers. We had a little disagreement about the Severance finale, and talked about a lot of the upcoming stuff, and what's been dropping, and then more streaming this weekend. Wheel of Time coverage coming as well. Wheel of Time coming out tomorrow. Wheel of Time had a great episode 4. Excited to see what episode 5 has coming for us. So yeah, and if you missed it with Brittany for Big Brother 12, that was very fun. So yeah, I think that's about what we have. Thanks for hanging out. And I will see all of you. Oh, and if you missed it earlier, I was just talking about Deal or No Deal Island. So you can find that video on YouTube of the stream right before this. If you're watching on YouTube, talked about the Deal or No Deal finale and the season as a whole, really. All right, thanks for hanging out, and I will see all of you next time.